Have you ever had somebody tell you that you are obsessed? What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hope that you're doing well wherever you are in the world today. So, over the weekend, I was a little bit under the weather. You'll probably notice I'm a bit stuffy still, getting through it, but that's a part of the human experience, right? Sometimes we're going to get sick. And someone had messaged me on social and they're like, hey man, even when you're sick, like you don't take time off, you don't rest, you don't recover. I'm like, well, I do actually. I spent my whole weekend, which is very uncommon, spent my entire weekend on the couch. And in bed, like working and like doing stuff. Cause to me, I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna be sick, what else am I going to do? I work online, I can build programs, I can work on editing and books and such. So I was like, all right, cool. And this person said, they're like, you're obsessed. And I thought to myself, you know what? I am. I am obsessed with healing. And I think that if you want to be able to create massive change in your life, you have to be obsessed. Not obsessive in a way that like destroys friendships and families and relationships. That's borderline dangerous, but more so obsessed about like the continuing of like just showing up for yourself every day. And and of course, I rest. I take time off if I need it. One of the best things about being an entrepreneur and what I do with Think Unbroken is if it's a Tuesday at noon, I can like take a nap. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not stuck in an office. So, on the times, here's what I think about on the times when it makes the most sense for me to take care of myself, I do. And I hope that you do as well. And what I want you to think about is in the times in which you are in this journey and you're like deep in it, are there people around you telling you that you're obsessed? Like you go to therapy too much, you read too many books, you're too deep in personal development, you listen to this podcast too often, right? Because if those people are in your life, you might want to sit down and talk with them and tell them how important it is that you and them are in alignment with the direction that you're going. Because there's nothing wrong with being obsessed in the right way. Some people get obsessed with video games and with porn and with cars and with spending money on stuff they can't afford. And I think that a lot of people who are over on this side are, you know, the Unbroken Nation, especially you guys, we're obsessed with getting healthy, with ending generational trauma, with breaking the cycle, and with ultimately getting this place in our life where we can stand up on our own 2 feet. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And so I had a bit of back and forth with this person online. And I basically just explained to them, I was like, look, my goal is very simple. I want to end generational trauma in my lifetime through education and information. Period. And so that means on the days where I'm not feeling great, you know, I'm probably still going to work for 90 minutes. I'm probably still going to do some things. Now, I will say this on Sunday, I was out. Like there was nothing. Like I can't tell you how much I did not do on Sunday. Like my face was melting off. So, you know, at time you got to take care of yourself. And that was one of those moments where I looked and I said, all right, what do I actually need right now? What do I need in this moment? And what I needed was to make sure that I put my physical body and my well-being first. But other than that, like I think about this idea about it being obsessed, and it's like, why do people point out that you're obsessed with your life? Shouldn't you be? Shouldn't you be obsessed with the things that bring you joy and happiness and fulfillment and make you want to show up and make you want to push harder and make you want to ultimately be the person that you know you're capable of being? Like, why is that a bad thing? And I don't think it is. And I think unfortunately, until people around us start to recognize and accept that, it's always this uphill battle. I've been called a workaholic probably like 500 million times, but it's just not true. I'm not, because I'm not going to sacrifice my livelihood, my friendships. I'm going to do my best not to sacrifice the people in my life because of the career, because of coaching, because of Unbroken Nation, right? And I think that one of the most important aspects of this for me is those hard boundaries, right? And looking at and going, where do I need to have time? Where do I need to commit myself? Where do I need to show up? And it's not that I'm flawless in it, because I assure you I'm certainly fucking not. But what I want you to think about is where do you need to commit more in your life to this journey? What could you be doing to learn more? What could you get obsessed with that's going to help propel you forward? And a lot of times when you get deeper into this, it means you're learning, you're going through coaching, you're going through personal development books, you're going through seminars. And in those things, what is happening, you're expediting the speed in which you are taking in all this information, because the best part about this, especially like if you listen to the show, You don't have to go through the things that I or the guests go through in the same pace because we've already lived it. And our hope, and my hope especially, is we give you the ability to shortcut so much of this because there's this like, I want to call it like tyranny of suffering through healing, because I don't have a better way to phrase it, where you're just like, all right, hold on, I keep doing this shit, people are over here telling me to do these things, it's not working, and I'm like, who are you learning from? I talked about this a couple weeks ago, is just like looking at who you're learning from, who you're taking in information from, and being very diligent about making sure they're the right fit for you. But once you find that right fit, being obsessed, like I'll give you a perfect example. So you guys all know Tom Bilyeu has been a coach of mine for years. Almost every single day, someone emails me and they're like, hey man, I want you in my program. Come and get coached, join this mastermind. And a lot of this is from people that I love. And I'm not going to do it because I'm obsessed with learning from this person, right? When I start reading personal development books, right now I'm reading about money, right? Because I believe, and you've heard me mention this before, that we are going through this phase of money trauma, not only in real time, but for many trauma survivors, like that's this catalyst for all the chaos of our lives. And so I sat down one day and I was like, all right, what do I need to do to learn about money? And so I just started getting all these books about money. Right now, I'm reading The Psychology of Money. I've read Tony Robbins' book on money. I've read Grant Cardone's book on money. I've read oh my gosh, Kawasaki's book on money. And it's just like what I need to do is and it's not about getting like filthy rich and getting stocks and all this shit, but it's like I don't understand money at the scale in which I should because nobody taught me about it, right? So now I'm obsessed with learning about it. Do I want to be rich? Of course I do, because I want to be able to impact the world in this really beautiful way. You can't do that without a lot of money. And so that said, when I think about the things that we get obsessed with, how do you get obsessed with things that bring value to your life? How do you get obsessed with things that make your life better? How do you get obsessed with doing what you need to do every single day to live your life on your terms? And for the people that are naysayers and like, oh, you think about that too much, you talk about that too much, you're in that too much, I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably around the wrong people. And I know that's a hard thing to hear, but the truth is, anyone telling you that you're obsessed about creating your life is someone who they need to spend some time getting obsessed about creating their damn life. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the most important things of this journey is recognizing and looking at the people around you who are not in alignment. Just today, I was on Instagram and somebody had stole my identity. So on Instagram, I guess it's not really stealing my identity, but they mimicked the Michael Unbroken page, and I had, I don't know, 75 people DM me and be like, "Hey, this person has been messaging us. They're not you." And I was thinking to myself, "Oh, that's interesting." So instead of being obsessed with their own life, they're obsessed with mine. And that to me made me pause for a moment and go, does that mean like I'm actually doing something that matters at this point, or are they just being fraudulent? I don't know what that really means. And so, in that, the thing that I've come to think about with that particular experience is just thinking, man, imagine if they would have put that energy, just think about this for a second. Imagine if they would have put that energy into their own life. Imagine if you put that energy into your own life. Instead of being obsessed with things that don't matter, that don't bring you value, that's never going to impact you for the better, that doesn't make anything about your life different, it's the Netflix. And again, I'm not shitting on Netflix, like watch TV, who cares? But like, how much are you doing that? How often are you going to the club? How often are you going to brunch with friends? How often are you not like deep into this work, learning, growing, changing, healing? And so I'm obsessed with it. Like, look, you don't get to the point that I am in life without really putting in like 30,000 hours, right? I'm getting ready to do another trauma conference in May. What are we, 6 weeks away from that? Right. And it's like just learning, 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 more certifications, more education, more growth. Because as this trauma field like continues to expand, I realize that one of the really interesting things about it is like I've got to be even more obsessed about learning about it because it's moving so quickly. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of the old ideas that I started learning 6 and 7 years ago, while they have foundation, like it's kind of like, it's old hat, like it's not the thing. So how do we get into what's next? And so I'm obsessed with that. And I think about this. If I weren't obsessed with that, how could I be of service to you? How could I be of service to the unbroken nation if I'm not obsessed with giving you things that I need first? Right? It's that this is why coaches have coaches, because you get to learn from me because I'm learning from them. And I think that's the biggest key about all this, like just showing up every single day, being very pointed about what you want and going for it. Read all the books, right? Go to all the seminars, listen to all the podcasts, fill your brain with information about this subject matter. There's some episodes of this show that come to mind where I'm like, go and listen to the conversation with Dave Hollis or Anna Lamke or John Lee Dumas or Jordan Harbinger, or I mean the list goes on and on. These people with this incredible wealth of knowledge to give to us that we got to learn from. Be obsessed with that. Listen to those episodes. I've listened to my own episode with Tom Bilyeu like 10 times because I'm always picking stuff up. I've read books. I've read Body Keeps the Score probably 7 times in the last 3 years, right? Keep learning, keep being obsessed. You're never going to do anything one time and understand it. So those people in your life who are like, oh, you're obsessed, you care about this too much. Good. You should be. Because if you're not, who's going to? So that said, my friends, I hope that you'll find something in your life to be obsessed about that makes it better, that's not taking away, that's not disrupting your community, but instead is bringing value to yourself and the people in your life. That said, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Just a reminder, join us on Discord. Just go to thinkunbroken.com/Discord. You can join the Think Unbroken community. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see you.